Welcome to the fourth game of the Highland Wiffle Ball League's second season. Today's matchup is the Valley Vipers and the Yetis. The Valley Vipers are an expansion team led by Zach Hoover. Zach was an All-Pro last year and got elected to be the new manager. The Yetis are managed by Connor Young and are fresh off a World Series loss to the Dust Devils. The Valley Vipers won the bat toss and elected to be the away team. Their batting order is Zach Hoover leading off, Jackson Renner in the 2-hole, and Hudson Klein in the 3-hole. Connor Young will be starting on the mound for the Yetis, with Byron Young in left field and Henry Pritchard at first. Zach Hoover leads off the game for the Vipers with a weak ground ball straight to Connor, and Connor misses the peg to get Zach out. Runner on first. Jackson Renner's up, and he swings and misses on the drop ball. Connor gets one down. And Hudson Klein swings and misses on the slider. 2 down. Connor has 2 strikeouts, and the Vipers have a runner on first. Zach Hoover, the manager, is back up again, and he takes a walk. And now Jackson Renner's up with 2 down, runners up first and second. It's a great opportunity for the Vipers to score. And he hits a weak ground ball to Henry. Henry fields it cleanly, gets the out at first. Byron Young leads off the game for the Yetis and takes a walk. Henry Pritchard's now up, and he hits the ball to left field, and that's a single. Runners on 1 and 2, nobody out for Connor Young. And he takes ball 4, bases loaded, nobody out. Zach Hoover is pitching, and he's worked himself into a bit of a jam now, and Byron Young is up. He really needs an out here, and preferably without letting up a run. Byron hits the ball to Zach. Zach fields it cleanly and gets Henry out at home. Bases loaded, 1 man out, 0-0 in the bottom of the first. Here's Henry Pritchard, and Henry takes a walk. 1-0 Yetis, still bases loaded with 1 man out. Connor Young's back up, and he takes ball 4 as well. 2-0 Yetis. Byron Young is up again, and here he is. He ropes the ball to right. Connor's going 3. Henry scores, and that scores 2. 4-0 Yetis. Runners on the corners. Henry hits the ball to center. Hudson misses it, and Connor scores. Jackson Renner's now pitching. Runners on 1 and 2 with 1 down. Connor takes ball 4. Henry got picked off at second for the second out. Byron Young hits the ball back up to Renner, and Renner gets out at first. That is the 3rd out of the inning. 5-0 Yetis after the first inning. Hudson leads off the second for the Vipers, and he takes ball 4, runner on first with nobody else in the top of the second for the Vipers. Here's Zach Hoover, the team captain, and he hits a line drive straight to left field, straight to Byron. Byron makes the catch. 1 man down. Jackson Renner takes ball 4, runners on 1 and 2. And Hudson takes ball 4, bases loaded with 1 man down. Zach Hoover's back up, and he takes ball 4, 5-1 Yetis in the top of the second. Jackson Renner's back up, and he hits a swinging bunt, and Hudson scores. Connor misses the peg to get Hudson. Renner rounds first aggressively, but there's a ghost runner on second, so Zach has to go, and Connor pegs Zach for the 3rd out. Runners on 1 and 2 with 1 man down for Hudson, and he reaps a ball. And it's gone to left field. It is now 5-5 in the top of the second. Hudson Klein goes yard. And now that is something the Vipers really needed. And Zach Hoover is back up now. That was a clutch home run by Hudson. Zach's back up. And he hits it to left. Byron picks it up and throws it. Henry does not scoop it, and Zach's safe at first. And Byron picks it up, fields it after Leonard grounds it to him, and gets Zach out at second. It is 5-5 after the top of the second. Henry chops one into the ground, straight back to Leonard. Perfect throw, but Hudson drops the ball. Henry's now safe at first, nobody out. Connor nails one off the house. Henry dodges the peg from Zach. Runners on 1 and 2 with nobody out. Byron Young's back up, and he tips one straight to Renner's hand, and Byron's out. 1 and 2, Henry Pritchard's back up. He takes ball 4. Bases loaded with nobody out, or with one man out, and Connor Young up. Connor nukes one into the house. Actually, no, over the house. That's a grand slam for the Yetis, and Connor hits his first home run today. It is now 9-5 Yetis with Byron Young back up. Renner is still pitching, and Byron chops one into the ground. Renner throws it, and somehow tips Byron's ankle, and that's a peg, and Byron's out. Now Henry's up, and Henry gets a single after Renner decides he fields it badly and has no shot at Henry. Connor takes a walk, and now Byron Young's back up. 2 men out for Byron Young here. It is 9-5 Yetis, and he pokes at one, but Renner overthrows, and now bases loaded with 2 men out, and Henry line drive straight at Zach. That's the 3rd out. 9-5 after the 2. Hudson Klein leads off for the Vipers and swings and misses at a ball that was just a bit low. 1 man down. Connor gets his first strikeout of the day. Zach chops one into the ground, and Connor fields it cleanly and gets Zach out at first. And now Renner chops one into the ground as well. And a miscommunication by Byron and Connor leads to Byron narrowly dodging Connor, and Renner gets a single. Now Hudson's back up, and he swings and misses again. That's the end of the top of the 3rd. Connor Young is leading off the bottom of the 3rd for the Yetis, and he nukes one to right center for a home run. This one not over the house, but still a deep shot. That is Connor's 2nd home run of the day and puts the Yetis even further up at 10-5. Jackson Renner has been pitching okay so far, but not great still. And Byron Young back up, takes ball 4, run on first with nobody out. Henry's up, and he chops one into the ground straight to Renner. Renner throws it to Hudson, who catches it this time. But on the waiting, Byron takes 3rd. And Connor Young's back up, and he homers again. That's his 3rd home run of the game so far, and we're only in the 3rd inning. And now it is 12-5 Yetis with Byron Young back up, and he pokes again, hustles this one out, and Renner flips it to first, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. Nobody on now, and Henry hits one deep, gone over the wall for a home run. Henry's got his first home run today, and now 13-5 Yetis with 2 outs too. That is an important home run. Now Connor Young's back up, and Zach Hoover comes in the pitch, and he's way early on one, pops it up straight to Zach, and that's the third out of the inning. 13-5 Yetis. Henry Pritchard enters the game to pitch for the Yetis, and Zach Hoover leads off. Zach takes one oppo off the house for a single. Now Jackson runner up, and he tomahawk swings at one. Henry gets the out at first. Zach's going 3, and he is safe. Now Hudson climbs up, and Hudson takes ball 4 for a walk. Now runners on the corners with 1 man out. Now Zach Hoover is up, and he really needs a single here to score that run on third. And he chops at one. Oh, and it's a single. It was a weak hit. But it was in fair territory, and now runners on the corners. Hudson scored 12-6 Yetis. Jackson runner pops one up straight to second base, and Connor fields it cleanly. Hudson takes ball 4, and now it's bases loaded, 2 outs for Zach Hoover. Zach swings at one straight to Byron, and Byron just tags first to end the inning. Byron leads off the top of the 4th for the Yetis with Zach Hoover entering the pitch. Byron takes ball 4 for a walk. Now Henry Pritchard's up. Henry takes ball 4 for a walk. Runners on 1 and 2 with nobody out. Here's Connor Young now. And Connor hits a deep drive to right center field. And it's gone. That's a 3-run home run to make it 16-6 Yetis. That's Connor's 4th home run of the game, which is surprisingly high, but still not the best because Killian had 11 home runs with a juice bat. Hudson climbs and enters the pitch. Byron Young's back up. Byron takes ball 4 for a walk. That's another walk. Hudson, that's his first batter of his career now. And Henry, that's up. He lines one to Zach. Zach catches it. Byron retreats to first base. Byron is safe on a attempted peg from Zach. Now Connor's up, and Connor nukes one into the house's roof and makes it 18-6 Yetis now. And that's Connor's 5th home run now. 5! That's insane, but still not that much. Byron Young's up after Hudson Klein lets up a home run to Connor, and he hits one off the right field windows, but safe at first. Henry Pritchard now batting, and he dribbles one to the left side. Runners safe at first and second. Connor Young now up, and he dribbles one to the patio. Zach misses the peg to hit Henry. Byron scores. Henry's on third. Connor's at second. Byron Young up, and he dribbles one straight to Zach. Byron grounded out to Hudson for the second out, while Henry scored from third on that play. Then Henry singled, then Connor walked, and finally Byron grounded out to get the third out. In the top of the 5th, Byron Young enters the game to pitch for the Yetis. Jackson Renner leads off. Jackson Renner hits a weak ground ball very lightly and singles while Byron misses the peg. We do not have footage for the rest of the game, but Hudson Klein walked after Jackson Renner led off the inning. Then Zach Hoover came up and walked. Now it's bases loaded with nobody out. Then Jackson Renner came up again and singled, which scored a run, but Hudson Klein was out at third on a heads-up play by Connor, and Zach Hoover was safe at second. It is now 20-7 Yetis. And then Hudson Klein walked to load the bases. Now Zach Hoover's up, and he singled, but Byron Young got the force out at home. And to end the game, Jackson Renner lined out to the pitcher. Yetis won today's game by the score of 20-7. The Yetis had 18 hits to the 10 of the Vipers. Connor Young was the winning pitcher with 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, and 4 Ks. Connor Young was also the best hitter for the Yetis, going 7 for 8 with 14 RBIs, 5 walks, and 5 home runs. Jackson Renner was the losing pitcher for the Valley Vipers with 2.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 3 walks, and 0 Ks. Zach Hoover was the best hitter for the Vipers, going 5 for 8